Welcome to Newslook for January 22nd, 2010. Tonight's top story is a national one. It's about Scott Brown winning the late Ted Kennedy Senate seat in Massachusetts. This was a big victory for the Republican Party and conservative movement. If you have any questions, comments, story ideas, or anything, opinions about the Scott Brown story, please email them to newsview@email.com. And that was our top story in national news. Next in national news, this comes from the Wall Street Journal. According to the Wall Street Journal, Microsoft is suing the makers of TiVo. So Microsoft is suing TiVo because they claim, I guess, the idea of owning a patent on some of the processes involved in the recording device for television known as TiVo. And in other news, in Champaign, SuperValu runs W. Newell and Company. And this is from the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal in Minnesota, where SuperValu is based. And this story is by John Vomhoff Jr. And it says, and I quote, I'll just read the whole story. SuperValu Inc. plans to consolidate its 5 Albertsons meat and grocery procurement offices in the western United States into one regional department in Fullerton, California, the company confirmed Wednesday. Produce procurement for all those Albertsons distribution centers will be split between an office in Irvine, California, and W. Newell and Company, a SuperValu subsidiary based in Champaign, Illinois. And they quote someone from SuperValu saying, "This transition should allow us to increase efficiencies, better use company resources and expertise, and create single points of vendor contact, making it easier to do business with us," SuperValu said in a statement. The regional model is similar to what we have used for many years in other areas of the company. SuperValu on the New York Stock Exchange as SVU, which acquired Albertsons in 2006, said the consolidation efforts will begin within the next few weeks and should be completed by summer. That again is from the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. And now I'll talk about the weather. Right now, as we're recording this show, it's raining. I think it's still raining. And if this freezes, when you're seeing this Friday night, we could have a lot of ice. So be careful out there going out tonight, Friday night, Saturday, because it could get icy. Friday night's low temperature, though, may mean we don't have a freeze overnight Friday night, Saturday morning, because the temperature is supposed to reach 35 degrees as the low Friday night. So that's not too bad. That's above freezing. So that should be good if the weather holds up to that. If you have any questions or comments, again, I remind you to email them to me at newsview@email.com. That's the stories I have for tonight. Oh, and, one more. Last night in Champaign, there was a gubernatorial debate for the Republicans because the Democrats didn't come, and some interesting things toward the end you may have missed were about a high speed rail system in central Illinois, I think. Something like that. If you know anything or have any questions or comments on that, be sure to email me at newsview@email.com. Now, the debate last night, there was Andy McKenna, there was Jim Ryan, there was Proft, I forget the first name, there was that guy whose last name starts with an S that I can't pronounce or remember at the moment. There was Adam something, and there was, I think, one more Robert somebody. I should have written those down, obviously. But that debate, they also talked about taxes. They talked about Springfield and Chicago some. Did you see that? What did you think? You can respond to me those questions by emailing something to me at newsview@email.com. Now, that debate last night was covered by WDWS, WCIA, and WCFN. It was, well, WDWS is AM radio, and the other two are is a TV station split into two in Champaign and Springfield, but both housed in Champaign. In other news, there was news about robberies in Danville. So I didn't write anything down about that. And tonight, the credit roll is a little different. I have, I believe, decided on the name Newslook Productions for this show and possibly others in future. And if you have anything to say about that, you can email me at newsview@email.com. Isn't Now, did Super Value move from where it was um, near Prospect to elsewhere? Because I'm not sure. It could have. And I was looking around Super Value's website, and Newell, um, Newell and Company, I guess is how you pronounce it, and they distribute food, and they do stuff jointly with Jewel Osco, which used to be in town, with Save a Lot, and also with, I can't remember the name, but you get the idea. And you can look that up probably too yourself online. And um, I'm sorry for the lack of more news tonight. I could do what I did last time and just repeat the news. Um, um, like the weather. The snow is and has been melting, especially with this rain. And it looks it looks like a good um, decent melting of snow has occurred within the last 24 hours. Not all of it, most of it's still there, but some of it's been melted off by the warmer weather and the rain today. And like I said, Friday night low looks like around mid 30 degree mark, 35 probably. Uh, Now, about Newsbook Productions. Newsbook was the name I originally picked for this show, and I changed that to Newsview. And it looks like I may be making Newslook too. Perhaps this year or next year. I'm not sure yet. Not sure where that'll be yet. But stay tuned. I'll let you know. And um, if you have any questions or comments, like I said, email address is newsview@email.com. And I'm hoping you have a good evening and everything. And I hope you're having a good new year. This is the second edition of Newsview for the new year. Yeah, second one for this year, 2010. So happy 2010. Still. 2009 was interesting. I'm sure a lot of us hope this year goes better. I think so far it is. Um, this show is now a weekly program. As much as I possibly can, that is, can make it that. And you might be seeing some new faces on this show in the near future. Not sure when, not sure how near, could be far, but be on the lookout for more than just me on this show before too long. At least that's in the works. And some other things I might have mentioned last week, I don't remember. I thought last week's show went rather well, if I do say so myself. What do you think about Microsoft suing TiVo? TiVo, for those of you who don't know, is a system of recording onto a hard drive a TV program off of, I guess, cable, maybe satellite, and possibly over the air signals, I guess. I don't know. I've never used a TiVo machine myself. Um, it's like it's what they call a DVR. I've used those. Um, if you have any more information or would like to comment about that, you can by emailing me at newsview@email.com. Uh, well, um, maybe someday we'll have some more stuff here for you each week from Urbana, Illinois. Um, this week, I came up a little short on news. I did get an actual news story, the super value one from the Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal. And that's my first time doing something like that on this show. I hope to do more. We'll see. Like I've said before, the email address is newsview@email.com. Now, guests. We've had one guest on this show so far, and it looks like there will be more. Not sure when yet. Maybe next week, maybe not. But I should be having a guest here again before too long. At least one this year, probably a lot more. Not sure yet. I will probably be interviewing them and get ready for that if I can do it. And I probably can. I did it once before. You may have seen that. You may not have seen that. If you'd like more interviews or something, you can email me and tell me at newsview@email.com. Um, uh, I think it's still raining. I don't know if it will be Friday night, though, tonight, when you're seeing this, that is. But should just be 35 for the low. 35 degrees Fahrenheit for the low in Urbana-Champaign for Friday night. So I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you have. I've mentioned about all I can think of, except the email address comes to mind again, but I won't say it again yet. I know I need to find more news for next week, and hopefully I can, or a guest, or both. I could do half the show interview and then do the news, or I could do the news then do the interview at the end. Excuse me. Uh, well, uh, now I will say the email address again. It's newsview@email.com. And I hope you like the changes we made for this year. I hope you enjoy tonight's show. I hope you have been. And it's been an interesting start to a new year here at Newsview. Um, and um, if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see on Newsview, once again, that address is newsview@email.com. And it's always open. You can always email me. And thank you for all the nice emails I've gotten so far. Not very many, but thank you anyway for the ones I've gotten. And this is Newsview for January 22nd, I believe, which is a Friday night in 2010. Yeah. Can you believe it's a new decade this year? The start of a new decade. Um, this is what, my third start to a new decade? Um, Dating myself here, but this this decade is the second one of this century. Think of that. Um, you know, how about the tornadoes in California? Did you hear about this? There were tornadoes off the coast of southern California and some other places. Well, good night for Newsview. I'm Michael Badger. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in next week for Newsview.